Hello, welcome back for another lesson, Hebrew Numbers, Lesson 6. In this lesson, we'll be covering the days of the week. As I mentioned in the previous lesson, the days of the week are just built off the ordinal numbers. So these numbers should be familiar to you from the previous lesson. I have chosen not to include the nukudot in this lesson. It is incumbent on you guys to try to take what you know and go forward with it. In everyday life, the nukudot are not used, so they can be a bit of a crutch. So we move away from them slowly. So since you already should know these words, and there's really no shift in the nukudot from the previous lesson, then you should be able to follow along. Okay, so the days of the week, again, they're the ordinal numbers. That's how they're named. The Hebrew Bible does not name the days of the week like we have. We have named days of the week. The Hebrew Bible does not name them. They just call them according to the order in relation to the first day. Okay, so let's begin. Sunday. Yom Rishon. Yom Rishon. Yom Rishon. So I'm taking my time a little bit because the absence of nukudot. And we would abbreviate that as Yom Aleph. Yom Aleph. This little apostrophe here signifies that this is an abbreviation for Echad, for one. Okay, so we use this ordinal number. Now the Torah, Sunday, the first day of the week, is the only day in the Torah which is not called by ordinal numbers. It is simply called by Yom Echad. Here's the verse, Genesis 1:5. V'yikra Elohim l'or Yom. And God called the day, the light, day. L'choshek, in the darkness, kara laila. He called it laila. He called it evening. Vihi erev, and there was evening. Vihi boker, and there was morning. Yom echad. Yom echad. So the Yom echad is how Genesis names, and then from here all the other names are named ordinally. The second, the third, the fourth. So in Bereshis, again, this is where we derived our names, with the exception of the first day, in which we call Yom Rishon in common parlance, but the Torah calls Yom Echad. Okay, let us continue. Monday, Yom Sheni. Yom Sheni. And that is abbreviated Yom Bet. Yom Bet. Tuesday, Yom Shlishi. Yom Shlishi. Abbreviated Yom Gimel. Wednesday, Yom Revi'i. Yom Revi'i. And it is abbreviated Yom Dalet. Yom Dalet. Thursday, Yom Chemishi. Yom Chemishi. And that is abbreviated Yom He. Friday, Yom Shishi. Yom Shishi. And that is abbreviated Yom Vav. Yom Vav. Now, before we get on to that, I also want to reiterate back here, we notice that the evening is brought before light. There was initially darkness, and then there was light, and then that was called one day. So by the Hebrew reckoning, or by the Torah reckoning, the day begins at sundown and ends at sundown. So a day is considered from sundown to sundown by the Torah reckoning. Okay, so Sunday actually, in the Hebrew calendar, starts the night before. So sundown Saturday night would actually be the beginning of the first day. according to the biblical reckoning of days. Okay, so with that being said, Saturday, Shabbos, the Sabbath, begins on Friday night. Friday night. And we are accustomed to add on a few days, because a few minutes. In most communities, 18 minutes before the dusk starts, before the sundown, before the sun begins to dip. We add 18 minutes on because we don't want to be right up next to the moment the Sabbath starts. We want to give it a little pad of time so that we don't accidentally break the Sabbath. Okay, so Saturday is called Shabbat or Shabbos. Shabbos is an Ashkenazic way of saying Shabbat. Okay, so in Hebrew here we say Yom HaShabbat, the Sabbath. Yom HaShabbat, the Sabbath day. Or in more traditional circles, you might see it called Yom Shabbat Kodesh, the Holy Sabbath, or the Holy Sabbath day. The abbreviation for Yom HaShabbat, Yom Shen, short for Shabbat. Or again, in more traditional circles, you're likely to see it called Yom Shin Kuf. Shin Kuf. These two little apostrophes here signify that this is what's called a Roshei Tevot, an acronym, in which we take the first letter from each word and create an abbreviation, a multi-word abbreviation. Okay? So this little one apostrophe signifies that we're just shortening the word. It's a katzer. We're shortening the word. And that's how we're abbreviating. An apostrophe, two apostrophes here, signify that we are making a Roshei Tevot, taking the first letter from each word, Shabbat Kodesh, and shortening it to this little abbreviation. Okay, that's the days of the week. It would be really cool if you guys can start using those in your daily life a little bit to become aware. Also be cool if you guys are trying to transition away from using the kudot for really common words. Again, days of the week should be pretty common. Maybe try starting to write a to-do list and write Yom, for instance, if it's on Thursday, on top of the page, write Yom Chamishi. And then you can and then you can write whatever in English, but it would, just to accustom yourself to write, you can work it into your practical everyday life. In terms of writing, I encourage you to look at my series on writing the Hebrew letters for some suggestions as to methods of writing, of handwriting Hebrew. Okay, I hope that was beneficial. Kol Tuv, Hatzlacha Rabba. Keep learning.